So, we are doing accents today. Accents are these marks, okay, that you can see on top of mainly vowels, but it can also come with some consonants. Majorly, it comes with vowels. So, what are the five vowels we have in Portuguese? What are the five vowels, guys?
A, E, I. Oh, sorry.
In Portuguese, not in English.
A, E, I, O, U.
A,
A, A,
A, E, I, U, O,
Right. A, E, I, O, U.
U.
Okay. Temos cinco vogais. We have five vowels in Portuguese. Então, so these are the marks that mostly come with vowels and they have different roles. Okay. So some mark can mean like they that will extend the sound of the particular vowel, or in some mark it can mean that it will bring a closed sound to the vowel, that is will not open our mouth too much while pronouncing the vowel. Some vowel can give a nasal sound to the vowel. Okay. Some accent can give a nasal sound to the vowel. So in this way, there are different accents, and these accents have a specific role. And we cannot ignore the accents, okay? They are not just for decoration, or if we miss the accent in some spelling, then the word can mean completely different. The meaning can completely change. So in this way, accents are very, very important, and you need to understand the importance of accent. So today, let's start with the five accents that we have in Portuguese. First one, you can see it looks like a triangle. It comes on top of the letter, and the name of this accent is excuse me. This is called circumflex accent. Circumflex accent. In Portuguese, we will call it acento circunflexo. Acento circunflexo. Now, this accent comes with all the vowels. Please ignore what is there in the book. We only have E, A, O in the book, but it comes with all the vowels. That is A, A, E, O, U. So this accent can come with all the five vowels. Portuguese name is acento circunflexo and English name is circumflex accent. Now the role of this accent, what is the effect on pronunciation if this accent comes in a word? It gives a closed sound to the vowel. So this accent gives a closed sound to the vowel. You can see in the examples, this is a word that we commonly know and understand, that is você. Você means you, आप, você. So we don't say você, você. यानी जो ए का साउंड है यहाँ पे, that is cut short. The sound of A is very closed. We don't open our mouth too much or we don't extend the sound. And we say você. It is você. Then here we have ambitu. Ambitu. If we did not have the accent on the letter A, then we would say ambitu. A. Because this letter is A. Aje amor. Or ad amor. So we would say ambitu. But since we have the accent here, we are saying ambitu. So listen to the two sounds and differentiate. One sound is A, which is the default sound of this letter. That is A. And the other sound, which is important in this word, which is used in this word, is A. A, A. There's a difference. Natural or the default sound is A, and the sound with the accent here is A. So this word will be read as ambitu. Ambitu. Okay. Ambitu means scope, opportunity. Ambitu. Then we have the word pelu. Pelu. So why am I saying it as pelu? It could have been pelu, If there was no accent in this, I would read the same word as pelu, pelu. But since we have the accent here, I'm reading it as pelu. So the word pelu, uh, just a second. The word pelu can mean hair. Okay, pelu, hair, with the accent. If we don't have the accent in this word, then it can mean for the. Okay, if we don't have the accent in this, so there are two words. See, there's this one word with the accent, and there is another word, same word without the accent. Now, the word with the accent, it means hair, whereas the word without the accent, it is called pelu, which means for the. It's a preposition. So, pelu means for the. This we will call pelu, pelu. And the one with the accent, we will call it pelu, pelu. This one is pelu, this is pelu. We will not extend the sound of a. And this one means hair. So you can see here that just the difference of one accent can make all the difference, and the meaning of the word can change completely. That is why accents are very, very important. We cannot skip them. Yes, Bushra? You have a question? You're on mute.
Yeah, here the Pelu you were saying here mean. So what does it mean? What Aki is I think also the
No, Aki
meaning.
is here, yahan pe. Okay. So
Hmm.
Aki means here, and this one Pelu means hair, bal, hair.
Okay,
This one is
here.
here. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, ठीक है. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So here we can see the use of the accentus circumflexio. We'll revise the complete accent once again. The name of this accent in English is circumflex. It looks like a triangle without the base, and it comes on top of all the vowels. Only the vowels. It will not come with any consonant. It will come only with vowels. The name of this accent in Portuguese is acento circunflexo. Circunflexo. Acento circunflexo. Circumflex accent. Effect and pronunciation, it gives a closed sound to the vowel. And we saw some examples as well. In the examples, we saw that the first word in the example, if we remove the accent from that word, the meaning changes completely. So that's why accents are very important. If we remove the accent, then it will be a different meaning altogether. So when you are learning Portuguese, when you are writing, when you are speaking, the accent should reflect in your sound and in the spellings. So the first accent is clear to everyone. Can you give me a thumbs up? Great. Let's move on to the second accent, which is the most common accent, I would say. The second one here is the most common accent in Portuguese. It is called acento agudo. Agudo. Acento agudo. Acute accent. In English, we will call it acute accent. In Portuguese, we say acento agudo. It comes with all the vowels, all the five vowels. The simple effect is it stretches the sound of the vowel. Whichever vowel it will come on, it will stretch the sound of that. So our mouth might be more open, or we might just say the sound for a longer period of time. Let's look at the first example. The first example says, obvio, obvio. So we have this accent on top of o. So it is sounding as obvio. The next one we have épico, épico. There's an accent on A, so we are extending the sound. Our mouth is open and we are also saying it for a longer time. Épico. Let's look at the meanings also. Óbvio means obvious. Óbvio. For example, it is obvious that you have to do your homework. É óbvio que você tem que fazer o trabalho de casa. Óbvio. So we are extending the sound of O because we have an accent there. Next, we have épico. Épico. Again, we are extending the sound of A. Épico. If there was no accent in this, then I would say épico. Épico. Because our natural stress comes on the second sound, if you remember. We discussed this in the first or second class. Our natural stretch comes in the second last sound or second last syllable. But here we are saying épico. The stretch is on the first one itself because of the accent. Wherever the accent to agudo is, we will stretch that part of the word. Épico. Épico means epic. Then we have também. Também. We have to extend the sound of A. Também. If we did not have an accent here, we would say também. Também. But it's not the sound. It is também. Também. So again, I am stressing on the same thing that accents are not just for decoration. When we are speaking the word, when we are pronouncing anything with accent, in the speaking itself, it should reflect that the word has an accent. And it should also reflect which accent it has. If we have accent to agudo, then we have to stretch the sound of that particular vowel. If we have accent to circumflexio, then we close our mouth and we make a very short sound of that particular vowel. So it should show in your speaking as well. So accent to agudo, just to revise once again, English name is acute accent. Portuguese name is acento agudo. It comes with all the letters. It looks like this. It starts on the top of the letter and goes rightwards. For example, a letra A. Okay. It will start on top of the letter from here and it will go rightwards. Okay. Always remember towards the right. If we have an accent towards the right, the name is accento agudo and the role is to stretch the sound of the vowel. It is important to remember the direction because we have a similar accent which starts from the top of the letter and goes towards the left. This is called the accentu grave or accentu grave. So remember, if we have an E at the end of the word, then in European Portuguese, we don't pronounce it at the end. We just say grave, accentu grave. Whereas in Brazilian, we give a little extension and we say accentu grave. Accentu grave. So it starts from the top of the letter and goes leftwards. This is called accentu grave. It comes only with the letter A, that is A, first letter. It doesn't come with all the vowels, okay? It comes only with the first letter, that is A. This is comparatively more rarely used accent. The accent to circumflexio and agudo are more popularly used. You can see more number of appearances of these accents, whereas accent to grave is less commonly used. So, as the name suggests, this is grave. तो इसकी आवाज गंभीर होनी चाहिए. It should have a grave sound. How do you make a grave sound? When you bring a sound from inside your tummy. Okay, जब आपके पेट के अंदर से आवाज आती है, it's automatically a grave sound. So listen to this letter. If I say this letter without the accent, then it is A. If I say the same letter with accent to circumflexio, the first accent, then it is A. A. If I say it with agudo, stretching the sound, then it is A. A. We'll open our mouth very wide and we'll say it for longer time. Ah. And if it is accent to gravi, then it is a, a. It's almost the sound that you take out when you burp, burping sound. Okay. जब डकार आती है तो जैसे साउंड निकलता है ना, वैसा साउंड है ये. It is a, a. So this is accent to gravi, where the sound is grave, gambhir avaz. It's a very serious sound. It is a very, sound with a lot of gravity. It comes out of your stomach. A. So this accent is used whenever we have the requirement of a double A. So when do we require a double A? Let's see some examples. For example, if I say, I go to the school. I go to the school. If I want to translate this sentence word by word in Portuguese, for I'll use eu. For I go, I'll use vou, go. Okay. To, for the words to, I will use a. Let's look at the English sentence as well. Eu vou a. Okay. For the word to, I'll use a. That is our preposition. Then we have an article, the. I go to the school. So for the article also, we use a. Because the also in Portuguese is a. So for to, we are using a. Again for the, we are using a. So coincidentally, there is two a's in the sentence back to back. There are two letters, two same letters back to back, and that is the letter a. Now these will not remain there separately. We will not say eu, vou, a escola. Definitely will not say it like that. So here comes the use of accentu grave, where we combine these two and we say a. We say a. So I'm unable to copy the accent from here. Let me just use my pen. So instead of a, we directly say a escola, like this. Eu vou à escola. Eu vou à escola. Similarly, we have an example here. Às 4 horas. Às 4 horas. When can we use this? What is the use of this? For example, if I say, the meeting is at, let's say, 11. The meeting is at 11 a.m. So in Portuguese, we will say a reunião. For meeting, we use the word reunião. Let me write it. We'll read this word as a reunião. So let's break it. See. He, u, ni, on. There's a nasal accent here. We will read the nasal accent right now. So look at this word again. He, u, ni, on. So together we'll say reunião. Reunião. So the meeting is at 11. Okay. So we'll say a reunião esta a for at, and then we use an article also in Portuguese. In Portuguese, we use way more articles than we do in English. So in English, we say the meeting is at 11, whereas in Portuguese, we typically say the meeting is at the 11. So for that also, we have to use an article. Às 11. 11, we say 11. So the reunião or a reunião está às 11. Now definitely these will not come separately. So we have to bring them together and it will become ash. So the complete sentence becomes a reunião está às 11. The meeting is at 11. I want you to please note these two sentences. Make a note of both the sentences. So this is the use of accent to grave. It comes only with the letter A and it will come only when A is repeated. Only in these situations. That is why it is comparatively rare than accent to circumflexo or accent to grave, accent to agudo. So that was our accent to grave. It's a grave sound, comes out of your stomach. This accent comes only with the letter A. In English, we call it grave accent. In Portuguese, we call it accent to grave. So everyone is clear till these three accents, circumflexo, agudo, and grave. Can you give me a thumbs up?
Ma'am,
Awesome.
I'm confusing circumflexo.
Circumflexo. Okay. Circumflexo is an accent where we don't. Acha, see, if the letter is A, our natural by default sound is A. ठीक है, अगर accent तो circumflexo आ जाएगा तो वहां पे हमें उसी sound को छोटा कर देना है. So instead of saying A, I will say A. You try it once. What is the default sound of the letter? First letter?
Pelu.
No, just tell me the first letter of Portuguese language. पहला letter क्या है?
A.
आ. ठीक है, अब अगर इसके ऊपर accent तो circumflexo आ जाएगा तो sound क्या होगा?
A.
O.
A.
Listen to this carefully. By default, the sound is a. आजी अमोर आ. पर अगर accent तो circumflexo आ जाता है तो वहां पे sound हो जाएगा अ. आ अ. ठीक है. Now you try it once again. By default sound क्या है?
A.
And accent लग जाएगा तो?
A.
Yes. So what are we doing? We are closing our mouth. थोड़ा सा mouth को close कर रहे हैं और थोड़ा सा कम sound दे रहे हैं उसको. मतलब जितना time उसको pronounce करने में देना चाहिए उससे कम time दे रहे हैं हम. Okay?
Okay.
तो accent तो circumflexo और agudo एक दूसरे के opposite हैं. In circumflexo we cut short the sound of the vowel and in agudo we stretch the sound of the vowel. Claro?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else has any questions? Or anything you want me to repeat? Okay, if we don't have any questions, let's move on. Now we have a nasal accent. Okay, look at this accent. Looks like a wave. It comes on top of two vowels, a and o. Very interesting, very interesting accent. It looks like a wave, comes on top of a and o. It gives a nasal sound. Wherever you see this accent, the sound comes out of your nose. So generally we call this letter as a, but if we have accent to til, this is called accent to til. If we have this accent, then a becomes a becomes o becomes o, nasal sound. And this nasal sound is very, very important in Portuguese because in many words, many words, you will see this accent. I'm sure by the time you have come till this part of the chapter, your first chapter itself, you might have come across this accent already. So wherever we have this wave-like accent, in English we call it tilde accent. In Portuguese, we call it acento til. So in European Portuguese, we will say til. But can anybody try this in Brazilian Portuguese? Remembering the rule that we do not pronounce the L at the end.
Tio.
Tiu, yes. Anything else? If I have to give it the sound of TI, what is the special sound of TI in Portuguese? In Brazilian Portuguese?
It's chi.
chew,
Chiu. So combining both the sounds, it is actually chiu. Okay.
Chew.
Some people might also call it as tiu. That is also correct. In Brazil itself, some people will call it tiu. Some people will call it chiu. And in European Portuguese, it is til. No exceptions. In European, it is til. So this is til, accent to til. So whichever sound, whichever name sounds comfortable to you, whichever you want to learn, just remember any one of the names. You can call it chew, you can call it tiu, or you can call it til. Just remember any one of them, but you have to remember the name. So this accent gives a nasal sound to these two vowels, a and o. So a will become a and o will become o. Examples, look at the examples. First one is mai. Mai. Mai means mother. Okay. Mai. Very common word, and we have an accent here. Mai. Then cow. Cow. Cow also means dog. Same meaning as cachorro. Cow. Mai. Cow. There are plenty of words in Portuguese language which has the accent to chew. Wherever you see this accent, it means that you have to give it a nasal sound. So this accent is clear to everyone. It's very straightforward. Just that आपको नाक से आवाज निकालनी है. Can you give me a thumbs up if it is clear to everyone? Ok, perfeito. Vamos proceder para último acento. Last accent. Último. Okay, let's learn a new word then. The last one. Okay. Just a second. So here's a new word for you. Último. Último means last. Last matlab last one. Something that is the last one. For example, here we are saying último acento. Last accent. In European, we will say this as último. Último. And in Brazilian, we'll say último. Now notice that it has an accent. It has an acento agudo at the beginning itself. That is why I'm saying último. If I didn't have the accent here, then I would say último or último. But since there is an accent, I'll have to say último or último. So accents have to be respected and accents have to be remembered. We cannot skip the accents, neither in speaking nor in writing. Okay, now coming back to our last accent, último acento. This is called accento cedilha, and we have already come across it when we were reading the rules of the letter C. So can you remind me, why do we need this accent? What is the role of this? Someone please raise your hand and tell me, what is the role of this accent? Yes, Nakul?
Now it changes the pronunciation of the word
From what to what?
from ka to sa.
But the letter is C only. We read it as say. So why do we need this accent to change the sound of this letter? Why exactly do we need the accent? The sound is already say, right? Sage is certo, we have read. Yes, Ashish?
I think we learned that the words following differ the sound of C. It was differentiated between sa and ka. So
Hmm.
when the cedilia is inserted, so
Hmm.
irrespective of what the letter follows, the sound will be C only.
Exactly. Okay. To just clarify what Ashish said, both of you are correct. Ashish just explained it in more detail. So what is the problem here? This letter is called say. The sound of this letter is say. But when this letter comes with CE and CI, then it sounds like so. But when it comes with CA, CO, or CU, then the sound becomes k. Now, if in any word we have this combination, for example, we have say a, then the sound becomes ka. But if I want these two letters, but I want it to sound like sa, मुझे यही दो लेटर्स रखने हैं और मुझे सा का साउंड चाहिए, का नहीं चाहिए, सा चाहिए, तो इसको सा में कन्वर्ट करने के लिए हम ये एक्सेंट लगा देते हैं नीचे. तो जब ये एक्सेंट लग जाता है सी में, उसके आगे चाहे कोई सा भी लेटर आ जाए, दैट इज अगर सी में एक्सेंट नहीं होता है और सी के साथ ए ओ यू आता है तो साउंड क होता है. बट इफ द लेटर कम्स विद एन एक्सेंट, देन वॉट एवर लेटर कम्स आफ्टर इट, एक्सेंट अगर आ गया सी के नीचे तो आगे चाहे कोई सा भी वॉवल आ जाए, ए ओ यू, विच एवर vowel comes afterwards, the sound remains as so. So that is the specific role of this accent. This accent helps the sound of the letter C to convert from k to sa, no matter which letter it is followed by. Now, is this thing clear to everyone? The concept is clear to all of you? Can you give me a thumbs up? Everyone, if anybody has a doubt, please ask. Or anybody didn't understand, wants me to repeat, please ask.
Ma'am, please can you repeat it? I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Thank
So,
you.
under the rules of the letter C, we learned there are two combinations, okay? The same letter, the letter C, can be pronounced as sa. It can also be pronounced as ka. So, we will pronounce it as sa when it comes with CE or CI. And we'll pronounce it as ka when this letter comes with, just a second. Yeah. We'll pronounce the same letter as ka when it comes with CA, CO, or CU. Sorry, I'm getting a blackout on my screen. Just a second. Are you able to see my screen or is it white for you too?
It's right.
No.
Okay, just a second. Are you able to see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so this same letter can be sound as sa or it can sound like a ka. So when we'll say sa and when we'll say ka. If this letter comes with the combination of CE or CI, then it will sound like sa. And if it comes with the rest of the three vowels, that is CA, CO, and CU, then it will sound like ka. Rashmi, is it clear till now?
Yes, it is. No.
Okay. Now suppose I want to say CA. If I'm using this combination of CA in any word, then the sound should be ka, according to our rule. But if I want the sound of sa and I want to keep it as CA, then I will use an accent under C. And if I use the accent and then say, then use the letter A, whatever letter I use, A, O, or U, the sound will remain as saw. It will not be ka anymore. It will become saw. Clear? Is it clear now?
Yes, ma'am. Claro.
Yes. Okay. Anybody else has a question or is it clear to everyone? Great. I'm assuming it's clear to all of you. So these are our 5 accents that you need to remember in Portuguese. So I want you to revise these accents, their effect on pronunciation. Try pronouncing these words, as a homework. So there's no separate homework for you. You just need to be careful and review all the accents that we have learned and practice the sounds. One more thing that we will do today is the stress pattern in Portuguese language. So, stress pattern, as I told you in the first class, that every language has a stress pattern. In English, in Hindi, we tend to put stress on every syllable. We put equal stress on every syllable. So, for example, if I take my own name, I will say there are two sounds in this word, ra and ka. Okay? I can make out two sounds from the same word. So what we do in Hindi language is we put equal stress in both the words or both the sounds. So we say raka. We don't say raka or we don't say raka. We say raka because in both the sounds we put equal stress. That is the rule of Hindi. But if I say the same word in Portuguese, then this will become haka, haka. So what I'm doing is I'm stretching the first two letters. Okay. That is the first sound. I said that there are two sounds. So I'm stretching the first sound. I'm saying ha, haka, haka. And this is actually how the native Portuguese language sounds. Haka. Okay. So whatever word we take, we have to put the stress on the second last syllable. Now to understand this, first we need to know what is a syllable. So anybody is aware of this word syllable? What does it mean?
Syllabus?
No, it's not syllabus, it's syllable.
Syllable.
What is a syllable? Anyone? Okay. Syllable is, you can say, syllables are different sounds with which a word is made. So every word has syllables. Okay. Every word can be divided into syllables. Now, a typical syllable consists of at least one vowel. Let's understand this with some examples. A typical syllable consists of at least one vowel. So if I take the word escola, we have learned in the alphabet A de escola or AG escola. So just imagine if you are teaching the same word to a kid, if you are teaching it to a baby who is learning to speak, then how would you break this down? You would say esh, ko, la. Now you're naturally using syllables, but you don't exactly know why you are breaking it from esh. Why can't we say eshk and ola? Why do we say esh, ko, la? Because we tend to divide it with single vowels. Esh is one part of the word, then we divide it, ko, and then the third part is la. This is how we divide the word into syllables. So this word has 3 syllables. Esh, ko, la. Now the Portuguese language says that the stress, the longer time we will spend on the second last syllable. So if this was a Hindi word, अगर ये हिंदी का शब्द होता तो हम इसे कहते हैं एशकोला, एशकोला. तीनों साउंड्स पे हम सेम अमाउंट ऑफ स्ट्रेस देते अगर ये हिंदी होता तो. पर ये पोर्चुगीज है और पोर्चुगीज का रूल है कि स्ट्रेच हमेशा सेकंड लास्ट सिलेबल पे आता है, तो इसको हम टिपिकली पढ़ेंगे एशकॉल, एशकॉल, एशकॉल. So I will stretch the sound of ko, eshkol. Similarly, let's take the word sapatu. So we have learned esi this sapatu. So can you tell me how many sounds we can break this into?
Three, maybe.
Three. Three.
Three.
Sapa.
Three.
Sapato.
Yes. Three sounds. Sa, pa,
Pa.
tu.
To.
And where will you put the stress?
Pa.
Pa. Yes.
P.
Pa.
Right.
P.
So can you pronounce the word?
Sapato.
Yes. Others?
Sapato.
Yes.
Sapas.
Sapato.
Yes. All of you are correct. Sapatu. Sapatu. Okay. Sapatu. This is how we pronounce it. If I have a word with only two sounds, this one, it has only two sounds, ka and za. So where will I put the stress?
Sa.
Kaha.
No, ka. Yes. The first one.
Uh,
The stress will never be on the last one. Never on the last one. It is always the second last. So here we have only two sounds. So second last is this one only. Ka. Okay. So we will put stress on this one. So how do you pronounce this word?
Casa.
Yes. Others?
Casa.
Yes.
Kaja.
Right.
Casa.
Casa.
Right. Great. So this is kaz. 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 Similarly, we read ge the gatu. Gatu. So we have two sounds, ga and tu. Tu is the last sound. So definitely we don't put stress here. We put stress on the this one. So what will be the sound of this?
Gatu.
Yes. Gatu. Gatu. So your only job right now, your only homework is to go through all the words that you have learned in the alphabet and make sure you pronounce them correctly. Like this one has two syllables, a more. So it is amor, amor. This one has two syllables, bo, la. We'll put stress on the second last. So bola, bola. Certo, certo. We are stretching this and shortening this. Certo. Dedo, dedo. We are stretching this and shortening this. Dedo. Escola, escola. Faca, faca. Gato, gato. Hospital, hospital. We can break it into three syllables. Osh, pi, tal. So definitely not the second, not the last syllable. We'll never put stress on the last one. We'll put on the second last. So hospital or hospital. Igreja, igreja. Janela, janela. Like this, you should practice all the words that you have learned till now. Be it the words in the alphabet or the words that you have learned new words in the class or examples from rules of pronunciation. जितनी भी आपकी vocabulary है, आपको सिर्फ प्रैक्टिस करना है ये ध्यान में रखते हुए कि हमेशा स्ट्रेस सेकेंड लास्ट सिलेबल पे ही आएगा. इसका एक्सेप्शन तभी हो सकता है जब हमारे वर्ड में कोई एक्सेंट हो. If we have an accent to agudu in any part of the word, then the whole rule does not apply. We will stretch only the part where we have the accent. So I'll repeat this. If we do not have any accent in a word, then by default the stretch is on the second last syllable. Like all the words we saw here, escola, sapato, casa, gato. In these words, there were no accents. But in case we have an accent in any word that is specifically accent to agudo, the accent that is responsible to stretch the sound of the vowel. If we have the accent to agudo in any of the words, then we will stretch the sound of the particular vowel with which the accent to agudo is present. जहाँ पे agudo आ रहा है उसी vowel को हमें stretch करना है. In that word we will disregard this rule. This rule will not apply where there is accent to agudo. We will simply stretch the part where agudo is present. So going by that, let's look at this one. Café. Café. So I am actually putting stretch on the last syllable, which should never be the case. But I have an accent there. I have an accent to agudo. So I'll have to put the stretch there. Café. Coffee. Okay. Domino. Domino is a type of game. Domino. Then we have bau. Again, accent is on the last syllable. Bau. Bau is the trunk. It can be the trunk of a tree or trunk of an elephant. Bau. Kaki. Kaki. Kaki is the color. Khaki. Khaki color. Kaki. Then there are words where the accent can be in the middle of the word, anywhere in between, like capitulu. Capitulu. Now look at this word carefully. If we did not have the accent here, then the stretch will be on this one. अगर accent नहीं होता इसमें, then we would stretch the second last, that is tu. So it would become capitulu. But since we have the accent, it becomes capitulu. So you can see that the sound is changing completely. Capitulu. Can you read the second word, this one? Anyone?
Código.
No.
Código.
Código.
Código. Yes.
Có-
Yes.
Código.
Yes.
Código.
Great. Muito bem, gente. Código. Okay. What about the next one?
Árvore.
Yes. Perfect. Perfeito. Árvore. Árvore. Okay. So since we don't have any, we have the accent, so we will put stretch on the accent itself and will not apply the rule. Okay. So the rule is only for the words which do not have any accent. Now the last word, anyone?
Fosforo.
No, it could be better.
Fósfora.
Okay. Yes. Others?
Fosforo.
No.
Fósforo.
Yes. Yes. Kind of. Yes. This word is phosphoru. Phosphoru. So only phos is extended. Rest of it is small. Phosphoru. Phosphoru. So similarly, the conclusion is that wherever we have accent to agudo, we will stretch that part. And if there is no accent in the word, then we will stretch the second last syllable. So let us look at some examples of words where we don't have the accent. Now this is a long word. I will not read the word, but I can break it into syllables. Uni, ver, si, da, ji. Okay, this is a long word, lot of accent, a lot of syllables. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 syllables. Now I want everybody to try and read this. I'll go through everyone. So let us start with Ashish. Ashish, how will you pronounce this?
Ma'am, Universidade.
Oh, first of all, it is not you, it's u. Okay,
Okay, yes, ma'am.
okay, try again.
Universidade. Universidade.
Okay, yeah, very close. Still could be better. Bushra? I'll come to everyone, guys. Please wait. Bushra, you're on mute if you're speaking.
Sorry. Universidade.
Yes,
Universidade.
yes, correct. Gopesh,
Universidade.
yes. Manpreet, Manpreet, you're on mute.
Universidade.
Yes, Universidad. In European, we'll say Universidad. Okay. Nakul,
Universidad.
yes. Rajiv,
Universidade.
yes. Universidad. Okay. Little, you can make it little better. Universidad. So da is very, very distinct and very clear and very open sound. Rest of it, we are saying it quickly. Universidad. Universidad. That is the typical sound of it. Rashmi?
Universidade.
Yes. Sartak?
Universidade.
Universidad. You have to make it clear. Da.
Brazilian.
Okay.
Universidade. Yeah.
Yes. And in European, how would you say it?
Universidade.
Universidad. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So this way, no matter how many syllables are there in a word, we will break it. We will try to identify the second last syllable, and we have to stretch only the second last one. Okay. So next word is escada. Escada. Perfeito. Perfeito. Very common word. The last example. Obrigada. Obrigada. So in the group, I could see again, Gopesh said obrigada, but obrigada is only for women. Only when the speaker is a woman, then she'll say obrigada, and a man will always say obrigado. इसको अच्छे से रट लो बिल्कुल इसकी मतलब कोई there's no exception for this. Okay. If the speaker is female, then it is obrigada. If the speaker is male, then it is obrigado. So guys, that's all we had to do today. I will not proceed after this because after this we will start a new chapter in the next week. But as of now, I want you to take your time. You have to revise everything that we have learned in this chapter. So you need to revise the alphabet. The alphabet should be very fluent for you. Okay. So please remember how we learned the alphabet like Aji Amor, Beji Bola, or Ade Amor, Bede Bola, whatever you are focusing on, Brazilian or European. Please try to learn the alphabet very clearly and fluently. All the words should be clear in your mind. If I give you any word, you should be able to spell it along with the words. For example, if I give you the word universidade, so you need to be able to spell it along with the words. How? You will say U de uvas, N de número, I de igreja. Like this, you need to spell the word. So you should be able to do that. That is one skill that will be required by you throughout your life. Whenever you will use Portuguese, if you appear the interview, you are doing a job, you are working with clients, whatever you are doing, you will need this skill of the letter and the words. Secondly, you need to revise all the rules of pronunciation. If you have any doubts, any confusion in any part, please drop a message in the group or you can save it for the next class. Rather than saving it, it's better to drop a message so that it is at least noted. Okay. I'll try to reply as soon as possible. Or if I think that it is more suitable to discuss in the live class, then I will discuss it in the next class. But please make sure that you take it out of your system. You need to, express your questions and doubts, confusions. So we will revise all the rules of pronunciation. While we were doing rules of pronunciation, we also learned a lot of new words. So I want you to make sure that you remember those new words, you enhance your vocabulary. And secondly, we learned the accents today and the stress pattern. So whatever words that you have learned till now, they might have accents or they might not have any accents. Whichever the case is, you need to be able to pronounce them correctly. So I want you to practice the word meanings and the pronunciation of the words also. Okay? So that is your only homework. I'll drop a message accordingly in the group. Please make sure you revise everything. It's not like आपके पास अगर कोई exercise नहीं है तो ऐसा नहीं है कि आपका homework नहीं है, ये आपको seriously करना है in the weekend. So in Monday's class, we will actually start with the language. Till now, we were only understanding the sound of the language. So once you have revised this chapter and you have learned the things in this chapter, you have understood the sound of the language. Now from the next classes onwards, we will actually learn the language. Is it clear to everyone?